4 people died, including the shooter, at some place in Florida, Pensacola. News 92.3 is there on the spot. They're there. Eagle News 3, Channel 3. Where? Well, it's at Pensacola. That's where. And NAS. So News 923. News September 23rd. News 9th of the 12th month. 23 bypass. It's news. It's news. New radio. That's just a star. No big deal. You know, because the star is getting ready to fall from heaven. It almost looks like a smiley face. It actually does look like a smiley face. Is that a smiley face? Does that or does that not look like a smiley face? The eye, the mouth. Whatever. I don't know. I don't know. Well, the sheriff said that he said,
are we looking for any additional shooters within Escambia County, not just within the parameters of NAS Pensacola? I would tell you, this strikes home particularly hard for me as a retired military member. Walking through the crime scene was like being on the set of a movie.
What did you say? A set of who? Walking on the crime scene is like being where?
For me as a retired military member, walking through the crime scene was like being on the set of a movie. And as the
Oh, I see it. So, like a movie scene is what he's saying. Not that it's actually a hoax or anything. She's just telling you that it's a movie scene. From what he's seen, anyway.
Eloquently put, you just don't expect this to happen at home. This doesn't happen in Escambia County. It doesn't happen in Pensacola. It doesn't happen to our
It'll happen in Pennsylvania,
or members of the
Philadelphia.
But it did, and it has. And so for now, we're here to pick up the pieces. We have 2 officers at the Escambia County Sheriff's Office in the initial response that negated the threat that are now in a local hospital.
So those 2 witnesses are, they got shot or something in the middle of the street?
We expect them to fully recover. It was a member of the Escambia County Sheriff's Office that did negate the threat. I will share that with you. It was one of our officers that did that.
I just want to tell you that I live in Warrington, Pennsylvania.
As the captain said, we have as of right now, we do have 4 deceased and approximately 8 total. That includes the ones that are deceased, by the way, that are injured. The crime scene processing continues under the auspices of the FBI and the ATF. We are lending all local assistance that we have to this effort. Everything from command buses to crime scene techs if they are so needed.
And our thoughts and prayers are with all of them. Let me say, for those of you locally, if you have no business over on this part of Warrington, please do not come over here. Everything is closed down. We will continue to have our police officers with the sheriff's officers. For those of you locally, if you have no business over on this part of Warrington, please.
I live in Warrington, but I'm coming over there, all right? I'm coming over. I have my business over here in Warrington. I'm coming over to your channel.
Please do not come over here. Everything is closed down. We will continue to have our... Please do not come over here. Everything is closed down. We will continue to have our police officers with the sheriff's officers keeping people from over here at this particular time. So if you don't have business over here, please do not come over to this side of town.
Well, I'm here. I'm here on your side of the town.
Those are things that are critical for developing timelines, even to the point of angles of trajectory where students are running from. Those are things that are critical for developing timelines, even to the point of angles of trajectory.
Angles of trajectory. Sounds like...
Now all I have to do is just laser focus Johnny on the delivery of the message to y'all, and laser focus Johnny on finishing what the Lord has tasked me with. And that's it. So I'll do what he says.
If you don't believe me, let me give you a David Morgan test. In 2 weeks' time, remember the names of who was wounded and killed here today. And you won't. You won't. But if today it was a member of your family that was wounded or killed today, this day will be etched in your memory for the rest of your life.
It almost sounds like a threat. I don't know. It sounds threatening the way he said that.
But if today it was a member of your family that was wounded or killed today, this day will be etched in your memory for the rest of your life. That's what the families of the Navy personnel are dealing with today. And if you don't believe me, let me give you a David Morgan test. In 2 weeks' time.
In 2 weeks' time. So today's December 6th. Two weeks' time is December 20th for, whatever reason. Friday, December 20th. Just saying. But it's also the time period when you get a strike, it takes 2 weeks for it to come off your record. If you get 2 strikes, then you can't upload anything until 2 weeks later.
The people aren't standing for it. And a lot of these Democrats went back over the weekend and over the last week and a half. They talk about how much of an emergency everything is, and then they go away for 2 weeks.
All right, no, so it's not the 2 week has nothing to do with what day it is. This is on December 3rd, and the other one's today, December 6th. So it's not anything to do with today starting a 2 week period. It's more like when we get to the 9th, 10th, then there's a 2 week period because of a strike 1 and a strike 2. Then it's a 2-3 type of a, like a bypass. Monday, Batcat died. 10. This is spiritual. Whatever happens here is spiritual. And then we got these events coming up right here. There's 3 events happening.
Perihelion. And this coincides between December 7th and December 8th, coincides with the Pearl Harbor anniversary. And then we're watching all of these events on December 11th, December 12th, and December 13th. So I find it interesting that within this time frame, we've got the possibility of Abraham Lincoln being in its last days. So all of these
That's the aircraft carrier.
About the USS Abraham Lincoln being attacked, they may be within their last days to actually be fulfilled. Okay? So this is what I wanted to share with you. I don't want to be any longer. I didn't want to go this long on this video, but anyway, this is the information I'm sharing with you. I pray you're blessed.
So this is the aircraft carrier, Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln is going to get sunk, obviously. First, It's the truth. The truth gets sunk from the air. The air gets taken off the air. That gets sunk, and then they're going to tell you that the actual Abraham Lincoln itself got sunk, and then I'm still waiting for the Lincoln Financial Field to get sunk by the terrorist with blowing it up, having an explosion on the sidelines. I believe they're playing. I believe the Cowboys are playing the Eagles on the. I have to check. I think it's the 20th of December. Okay, so the Eagles are playing on December 22nd at home. That's what it was. It was October 20th that they played the first game. That was quite obvious as to what was going to happen. 37-10 blowout.
According to many, the Abraham Lincoln shows that it will be sunk in the Strait of Hormuz or in the Persian Gulf.
In the Strait of Hormuz. It'll be sunk in the Strait of Hormuz, for sure. But the Persian Gulf is going to be where, in Persia, the king of Persia is going to sink YouTube. They're going to sink it.
Because the Harry Truman is on the way, and Abraham Lincoln will then be leaving. So the question is, will something happen to...
It said Abraham Lincoln will be leaving.
Will be Abraham Lincoln before it leaves the Persian Gulf. Okay? Now...
Before it leaves. And because Captain Kirk Slaughter here, Jonathan Click, is taking a role as Captain Walter M. Slaughter. Walter Slaughter.
Another connection I found here, and I wanted to bring to your attention, is that Ezekiel 33:33 is book number 26. Will come. Then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them.
There you go. Steve Fletcher. You're trying to throw in that you're a prophet. Well, yeah, you are. You're a false prophet, 222, but you're still a prophet.
Another connection I found here, and I wanted to bring to your attention, is that Ezekiel 33:33 is book.
This is why he's telling you that he's letting you know about Abraham Lincoln's going to sink, because all these false prophets, they all got the script, and they know what's going to happen. So they're all going to come out. This is why everybody's going to, all these predictions that everybody's putting out there, they're all going to come true now. All the false prophets, they're all going to come true now. Mine are going to finally happen as well, but I can see it, how they're, everybody's in line pushing it. He has this arrow here at the 26. 26, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So he's basically telling you that it's coming true. It's going to happen. Abraham Lincoln's going to get sunk. Aircraft carrier. I'm telling you, YouTube's going to get sunk. But it's not. See, here's the thing. In the end, all the truth is coming out anyway. But I'll say it, a year ago when we're getting shut down, not knowing it's going to be this day, but knowing that, feeling that, let's face it, all right, YouTube has been up for how many years? How long have I been up on YouTube? Well, not even 1,000 days yet. What I sensed when I hopped on YouTube 1,000 days ago almost, to this point here, is that within 6 months, I felt the feeling of our channels getting shut down. And then the following year, and then here we are now, and they finally are giving the publicity about YouTube changing its laws and its rules at the end of December 9th into the 10th. And then the government has 21 days to make a government by the end of the 11th into the 12th.
I have to do it in a way that's organized, almost like a timeline, like you're going to court, to show y'all on this day this happened, then this confirms it, and then this happened, then this confirmed it. And I'm going
Did you help evacuate the building? Those are things that are critical for developing timelines, even to the point of angles of trajectory.
If we work together, if you see something, say something, we can keep New York safe. So that's where we are. That's the timeline. Began around 7 o'clock. Initially only impacted the lines 2 and 3, rapidly progressed to bypassing the other lines. We've now got all the other lines back. 0848, 2-3 remain bypassing through this station.
2-3, December 9th, 2-3, Monday. Monday, Batcat died. Right, Click?
Almost like a timeline, like you're going to court, to show y'all on this day this happened, then this confirms it, and then this happened, then this confirmed it. And I'm going to share it with you guys. Batcat has passed away since, I don't know, I guess Monday. The Lord used everything. Even Batcat's passing is part of this testimony. It's so mind-boggling. It's so out there. You couldn't even think it up. But yet, it happened. Just like the shipping containers. You couldn't even think it up. But for those of y'all that have been here for a while, I mean, just like that pamphlet laying in the middle of the road that confirmed everything that was in the shipping container. And then on Monday morning, the identical little pamphlet is in my P.O. box? No, it's impossible. So anyway, the same thing has happened on a level that most people, it's almost hard for me to wrap my brain around this. It's like, how is this even possible?
Stopping. We got the all clear to resume stopping at Fulton Street on all lines except the 2-3 at 0848. And as of right now, that remains the case. All of the lines are stopping at Fulton Street, except for the 2-3, which is still suspended, non-stopping rather, still bypassing through the station while the police conduct their scenes of crime investigation. We did have 2 trains that we had to deal with when that...
He has 2 trains he has to deal with.
When that call first came through from the police that there was the issue on the 2-3 platform, we had 2 trains to deal with. So again, acting quickly, and I would credit my staff with their professionalism. We had 1 train to evacuate at Fulton Street. That was done in orderly fashion. It was done quickly. Customers were taken off the train and evacuated to street level. We had 1 other train that had to be taken back to Wall Street, but again there were no injuries. It was done calmly and it was done professionally. So
and I'm looking out the window. You know what, the best thing to do right now is I can follow these students. They may be taking them into the parking lot, a staging area.
You said that right.
Megan, LA County revising the number of victims, and initially we were being told 7, and now we're hearing that there were indeed 3. So if that is the case, then we've seen all 3 of the victims being loaded into ambulances, and it appeared that all 3 were conscious. Correct, Megan?
Yeah, and you know what? That's what I heard. I was listening to the county sheriffs as we were flying up here, and I was listening to them as we saw 3 people come out, and they were conscious. You could tell they were moving. At least that's a good sign. We don't want to speculate anything yet, but I'm happy to say if that's the case, only 3 people. We saw 3 people come out. They were conscious. They were alert. And right now, this campus is on lockdown. Most likely, we still have students and faculty locked in classrooms. They are sheltered in place. Law enforcement want to make sure that the suspect indeed is off the campus. But again, that suspect...
Students leaving the campus here. Some sort of incident occurred. All we've gotten confirmation, our assignment desk, Tony and Araxia, is that there was a report of a gun on campus. That's all we have, but we do know that 1, 2, perhaps more victims down below. Looking at the you look at the mannerisms of the sheriff's deputies down below. They're running across campus, swarming the campus here, searching the campus. Now you're saying for a suspect who they are aware of at this time. And we do know that there are a couple of victims here, and we can see down below.
This evening between 5 and 7, the school district will tell you more about that. I just want every single family member to know that we are with you. Our heart is with you. And That's all I can say as to this horrible thing. There's no words to describe it. Thank you.
From Hart School District, Colin Nielsen.
Thank you. I'd like to first thank our first responders and the city of Santa Clarita for their tremendous response this morning. First and foremost, our hearts go out to the families of those affected by this terrible incident. Words are insufficient in times such as these. Nevertheless,
they knew the kid as a fellow student, but Adam Cochran, the shooting expert, school shooting expert, said that sometimes this also can give
to buses and then being taken to a church down the street to be reunited with parents. The sheriffs are trying to tell parents to go to that area, that that's where it's safe, that that's where it will be easier for them to get reunited. But so many parents just want to see their kids with their own eyes. A lot of them have been texting, have been calling their kids, but really they want to be here and be close and see for themselves that their kids are okay. Still not a lot of information about exactly what happened, exactly who is involved. We are now hearing from the sheriff that the suspect is in custody, is being treated. That, of course, is a big relief to people here, but still, until they know exactly who might have been injured, how many students could have been in the line of the shooter, I think a lot of people are not going to feel good until they have all of those answers, and unfortunately, it may take a while to get those answers. Guys?
Tina, the investigation is far from over. Thank you. Was in her choir classroom describing really a harrowing moment when two students were brought in.
Notice the theme here. It's all about the two witnesses having gunshot wounds.
Was in her choir classroom describing really a harrowing moment when two students were brought in with gunshot wounds. She described as other students then tried.
You see this? Look, you see this snake here? His snake eyes.
To help stop that bleeding as they were then taken to the hospital. Right now, as you have mentioned, 6 people taken to hospital, 2 in critical condition, and we are getting these reports from local media here that one...
That just looks like a whale. I mean, that, you know, because the eye, you see the eye right here? You see the bag, I guess it's like a book bag purposely placed right there so it can look like an eye.
Not even 200 yards.
This here, it just looks very similar. But this was back on October. Well, it happened on the 20th. Showing you this thing here. It's like it's the only thing that survived.
That's the Lighthouse Church.
There's your snake.
Extensive damage there in Ellis County on this evening.
And there's your whale.
No indications of injuries there, but nonetheless, you can see what these storms and these strong winds were doing throughout our area.
And this here was 200 yards away from the 75 Home Depot, 1400.
Location, we saw a neighborhood impacted as well. 200 yards from that location, we saw a neighborhood impacted as well. This video, this is out of Midlothian, a church with damage. That's the Lighthouse Church. Possibly did die from their wounds. As all of this unfolds and the investigation continues here, there was for a moment a very active and nerve-wracking manhunt. As we were driving in this direction, there were cop cars and ambulances scrambling.
I share some things with you, and we're going to put these Noahide laws on DVD and try to get that in your hands as well before everything really, pardon the expression, but as they say, hits the fan. I think you all guys already know what I mean by that. Expression, but as they say, hits the fan. I think you all guys already know what I mean by that. So,
Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln. I think we know exactly what you're talking about. Stephen Ben.
Yep. Where is Yoder Lumber?
And so I ordered the wood. I ordered the 2 slabs, and they were split down the middle. Each one was completely destroyed. And
split down
so
the middle is a reference to the Liberty Bell.
Where's Yoder lumber?
And then once I bought them, once that occurred, the Lord told me to look up the name Yoder and look at the city it comes from. And I'm like, okay. Now I'm starting going, maybe I'm over here.
Okay,
city.
wait, can I get everybody ready?
The great city.
Brace yourselves.
The city where the lumberyard is New Philadelphia.
Does that ring a bell like what's on that container out there?
Sure does.
Revelation 3:10 is a letter to the church of the angel of Philadelphia, the New Jerusalem. I told everybody that.
There you go. Philadelphia, the church, the angel of the church of Philadelphia is New Jerusalem. It's going to get destroyed. It's the great city.
That's what that container represents, is the New Jerusalem.
I don't know what's going on. Jesus is coming. Many times Johnny wants to be saved.
Gee, notice how Jesus and Johnny is in the same sentence, back to back.
God said He made the lights in the firmament for signs and seasons, and for days and years. I mean, signs, prophetic signs. This is absolute. You can't make this stuff up. I mean,
again, God created the lights in the heavens. God, you can't make this stuff up. Johnny wants to be saved. Jesus Christ, all in the same sentence, back to back.
You couldn't even think this up. So this is how I knew I was doing the right thing.
all right, guys. Mike from around the world is going to join us in a few minutes. We're going to be talking about, he told us last week that on December the 10th, we were facing a cosmic pulse that was coming toward the earth. What does that mean?
I'll tell you what it means. A pulse is coming to the earth on December 10th. There's going to be a magnetic pulse that it's like a shock wave. It's like when somebody throws a ball and you swing and miss.
This is not a sun diver. Okay, they're not expecting this thing to dive. It's going to come around the perihelion. But if it blows, then you got millions of fragments scattered out, headed toward the earth, on the earth's closest. And so will any of those hit the earth? I don't know. So we got to see the thing. We don't know. Okay, it's a question for Mike from around the world. But while Mike is going to tell us, besides this December 8th perihelion problem, what about the pulse? What about the pulse? What about Mike from around the world, December 10th pulse? What does it mean, Mike? We're going to ask him. But first, let's get a song. Let's get everybody in here. Southern hymn from the south, which sounds like might be the Planet X Nibiru or the binary system. And so it's kind of a double whammy. Is that
Planet
what you're saying?
X.
Right. Something is chasing us from the south. Is coming up from the south because
Chasing us from the south?
our solar system moves in somewhat of a corkscrew type fashion. But we know that something is in the south getting closer and closer and closer and closer to us. And it takes a long duration of time for it to approach, but we know that it speeds up the closer it gets to us. But something is also above us. So whatever's above us, we're actually moving into. So something could sit still above us, and we could, we're speeding towards it.
So this is coming, December 10th, 2019. The pulse. It's coming. It's a cosmic pulse. I remember, well, I don't remember being born, but I remember my birth date, and I remember walking around like for 40 years. Then, I don't know, something happened where I started to, I started wearing different clothes. I started sitting in different different things. I would sit in like, I don't know, like ashes sometimes, just for the hell of it. And I would wear like sackcloth. And for 1,260 days, when I'm wearing sackcloth and ashes, it's going to get me right there to December 10th when this cosmic coming pulse happens. I mean, you can't even make this stuff up, you know?
These are too coincidental, right, to be a mathematical mishap or some sort of coincidence.
Right? I mean, I that's exactly what I was thinking, too. Like, that's crazy how the cosmic coming apocalypse is coming on that day. It's heading our way.
For days and years, I mean, signs, prophetic signs. This is absolute. You can't make this stuff up. I mean,
right? I got Paul Begley agreeing with me and Mike from around the world. What about you, Johnny? Are you with me, Click, or what?
See me all the time.
All the time? All right, cool.
All the time. But this just happens to be the project I'm working on.
All right, well, so from 1,260 days, let's see where 1,290 gets me. Well, no, 1,290 days is irrelevant. It's different. It's different from being clothed in sackcloth, and then it's a whole different number and Bible verse where it's the time that the abomination of desolation is set up. But if I wait 1,335 days, it's going to take me right to...
Documenting this, so I'm going to... The highway that's going to take me there is called Carefree Highway. Carefree Highway to take me...
Use the right lane to take exit 223A towards Carefree Highway.
223 towards Carefree Highway. 0.3 miles. That reminds me of like the eagle. The number, the eagle, and then the 3.
Governor, the days ahead are going to be difficult when it finally sinks in what has happened here. The most important thing going forward for
Eagle.
us is to support our families.
3
They are family, they're our family. We're
in a row.
here in the Department of the Navy.
Not only is there a pulse coming December 10th, but on December 28th,
its closest approach to the Earth on the 28th of December. This could be a December to remember. But if it explodes during the millions of pieces, and this is not a sun diver, okay? They're not expecting this thing to dive. It's a question for Mike from around the world.
It really depends on how it explodes.